Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the worst injuries of the 2021 NBA season. Let's get right into it. First up, Anthony Davis groin strain. Early in the second half of Game 4 against the Phoenix Suns, Davis grabbed his groin. Davis set out the second half, and the Suns won to level the series at 2-2. Davis has a grade 1 strain and is questionable for Game 5. His future in the series is uncertain. Even if Davis returns, he won't be 100% due to his season-long injuries. Davis had a knee injury going into Game 4. This season, a calf ailment restricted him to 36 games before the playoffs. AD was a real superstar in the bubble last year, but his body hasn't been right since. His comeback is critical to the Lakers' prospects. Next up, James' ankle ailment has restricted him in the playoffs. LeBron James has played in every Lakers playoff game thus far, but he is certainly not at 100%. On March 20th, James sustained a high right ankle sprain, which he dubbed his worst injury. James rehabbed the injury for 6 weeks before tweaking it in the season finale. James returned to lead the Lakers over the Warriors in the play-in game. Despite playing roughly 38 minutes per game versus the Suns, his scoring 21 points per game has dipped. James isn't attacking the basket with the same speed and strength that he's always had, but against a club like Phoenix, particularly with Davis hurt, LeBron will have to work hard to win a series. Next, 76ers star Joel Embiid has a torn meniscus. The 76ers center hurt his knee in the fourth quarter of Monday's game against the Wizards. The Sixers failed to sweep Washington, sans Embiid, and now return home for Game 5 with Embiid injured. Embiid tore his meniscus. He won't have a surgery. The scenario is terrible for an MVP finalist with a history of injuries. Embiid led the Sixers to the conference's top seed and wants to prove himself in the playoffs. During the regular season, a bone injury in his left knee held him out for 3 weeks. Embiid has had a great season, and losing him is heartbreaking. Up next, Luka Doncic neck nerve issue. Doncic averaged 38 points per game in the Mavericks' first-round series against the Clippers, but he didn't seem right late in Game 3. Despite playing with a neck ailment, Doncic did not seem like himself in Game 4. Doncic has a neck nerve problem. He's in pain, Rick Carlisle remarked. It appeared to me that he couldn't look left or turn his head left. That's challenging for a man who depends on his peripheral vision and has spent his whole life swiveling his head. We can only hope that he improves significantly during the following several games. Game 5 will be Doncic's first game since Game 4. The Mavs and Clippers are 2-2 after 4 games. Dallas needs Luka to be at his best in order to win the series. Next, the Grizzlies sweep the West. They'll need Mitchell to be 100%. Next up, Dante DiVincenzo's foot ailment keeps him out of the playoffs. DiVincenzo is a starting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks club that believes it can reach the NBA Finals. In Game 3 against the Miami Heat, DiVincenzo tore a tendon in his foot, ruling him out for the season. After all, they face the Brooklyn Nets in the second round. Sadly, it won't happen. Finally, Jaylen Brown and Jamal Murray were out for the season. Both the Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics lost key players before the playoffs. ACL tear for Jamal Murray against the Warriors. It's one of the saddest NBA injuries in years. Aaron Gordon, acquired at the trade deadline, gave the Nuggets a defensive stopper on the wing, and Nikola Jokic seemed destined to win MVP. Murray was sensational in the playoffs last season and seems set to repeat. Let's hope he fully recovers for next year's playoffs. Jaylen Brown tore a ligament in his wrist right before the playoffs. Brown had a breakthrough year and formed a great young tandem with Jason Tatum. A first-round matchup with the Nets would have been intriguing for Brown, who had a great season. Well guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Next time.